Good day, people of the internets. Welcome back to another day out in the Tahoe wilds. Not really. I'm actually just in Tahoe Donner area. They have a lot of ski trails around here. However, there are a lot of wolves, coyotes, and bears all over this area. Do you ever have those days when you wake up and you're just thinking, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to work. I don't want to engage with other people. I just want to stay in my own little bubble all day and do nothing. That's kind of like the day I'm having. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a break. And I'm staying close to home. Nothing too crazy, nothing elaborate. Just a nice, gentle walk through these trees and up to a point called Hawks Peak in Tahoe Donner area. I haven't really been there in the winter in a long time. So, easy recovery day. However, even though I had to crawl and drag myself out of bed and motivate myself to go to the gym, do my pull-ups and dips, my core drive to change my life circumstances far outweighs any lazy or depressive thoughts to do nothing. And so, because of that urge and desire to do whatever it takes to get out of this life of living in a vehicle and being broke a lot and not contributing nor creating much for society, drives me more than like any negative tiredness or just general laziness that I have in my life. I just feel like this drive to do something, to create something, overrides everything else in my life at this moment. And I don't know if this message is going to get to anyone that needs to hear it. But in order to make a change, I think you have to get to that do or die point in your life. A lot of the times people change their lives in healthy ways post stroke or heart attack. And that wake up of, you know what, I need to change my lifestyle or I'm literally going to die. And I think that you can grasp onto that mentality way before something actually happens that could kill you. I think you just need to harness in to whatever it is you want to change. Go about making that difference and that change in your life and just pursuing that. Making the change every day, hell or high water. And I think that's what the videos at least are for me. It's like, I'm gonna make a freaking video as if it's as important as breathing oxygen. And so, even if I don't want to be out here making a video and I feel down and negative today, I think I can turn that around, use that negativity, share it with other people, and just realize that we're all gonna have really bad days when we don't want to do anything. I believe there's a lot of correlations to treating life as if you're a professional athlete to just trying to meet goals and better your own self, your own character, and life. You're gonna have off days and you're gonna have good days. And then some which are just kind of in the middle in that blah kind of state. And I would say a majority of us are probably just living in that blah, like gray zone where nothing's great and nothing's bad. But you got to make sure that you kind of bring those bad days up to at least like that gray zone, or treat it like that at least, and realize it's just an off day. It's nothing to do with my character. And we're all going to have setbacks. For some of us, you know, if you're trying to lose weight or train for a marathon, if you have a day where you're supposed to run 8 miles and you only run 4, you know what? It's still a little bit out there. You just had a bit of a hiccup and an off day. And it's nothing to get mad at yourself about. I think a lot of us, myself included for sure, if I have like a couple of off days or even one, I get so down and then I just give up. And that's part of the reason why I'm making a video like every day, because I'm petrified if I miss a day, then I won't make another one. And then I'll cycle into day after day, week after week, and then a month. And then I just give up. And then I wonder, what if I would have just stuck with that goal of making a video daily and see what happens? I mean, I'm not making any money. I'm just doing this because I feel a desire to create something. And to me, it's kind of like being in the art studio, where you go every day and you're painting or you're sculpting, you're creating something. And these videos are kind of like that for me at this point in my life, I guess. I've always loved going to the art studio and making stuff, being creative. And I guess this is kind of like a new outlet for that creativity and that desire to build and create something unique. And I think we all have that ability and desire to do something that's unique to us. It's just finding it and not giving up. Too many of us, I think, give up too soon, especially me. I mean, I feel like I've given up on everything in my life and I just haven't stuck with anything. And this is where it got me, for better or worse. Take, for example, the people who sign up to climb Everest. Maybe they take out a second mortgage on their home. They spend years of training to get ready. $100,000 for the trip. And they're not even guaranteed to make it to the summit of the mountain. There's so much risk, so much dedication to that endeavor, which will more likely than not end up in a failure. Now put that into relation of your own life. Say you want to lose 20 pounds. What do you have to lose other than weight by not achieving that goal? You might as well give it a shot. Go for it. Make it a goal. Make a time frame for that. And maybe the most you spend is a couple $100 getting a personal trainer to get you started, or a nutritionist, which then you can take these skills on into your health journey for the rest of your life. There's really only upsides to that type of a goal. For all of us mere mortals who just walk around and do our daily activities and stay in our safe environments, there's really no downfall. But we're kind of in this like low risk, but yet we can have high rewards too by meeting whatever goal it is. Say you lose 20 pounds and that gives you an extra 10 years of life. What is a bigger prize than that you could get? Extra time to spend with your loved ones, family, kids. If you can increase your quality of life and your mobility by just taking small little steps, which in the whole realm of things compared to those risking their lives for their goals and forfeiting a house, taking out massive loans, even their own life to achieve certain goals. For us, this is, I mean, we're just like icing on the cake a little bit, trying to better ourselves. As I look over vast valleys of mountains like this, I don't see just empty space. It's kind of like opportunities for exploration. An area to go to challenge myself. Maybe to figure out what I'm really made of. And you can do that with any fitness level that you have. Going out, challenging yourself, figuring out what mentally can you handle along with physical. Maybe you just start out small, something you know that you can accomplish, and then slowly just build that up. And as your skill levels and fitness improves and your mental strength gets better, keep pushing further out into that challenge of life. We're never going to get it from zero to hero. It's like you're forged in the fires of Mordor. Takes time to build up that resiliency. At least that's what I'm telling myself today. However, let's be real. The biggest risk that most of us have is our time, inconvenience, and probably being uncomfortable. In order to reach our goals, that's really the only three things that we have to overcome. Granted, overcoming being uncomfortable is very difficult. It's like a muscle that you have to acquire and build up with time. Like an endurance sport. You know, you can handle being uncomfortable at first for like a mile. Then it builds up to 10, and then 20, and then beyond. So none of it comes right away. Nor does any of it come easy, sadly. When things are hard, you do have to give yourself justification for getting through tough times, and you have to give yourself a reason for going through it. So I suppose in a way, my reasoning for my suffrage time period is to have enough time to make videos like this, to study something, which right now I've been studying French and doing a personal training certification to get back into that. I know it's not like a ton, but perhaps I'll be able to add more with time and put a purpose to this low period of life where I don't have housing, I can't really afford a lot, can't really have luxuries like a pet of any kind, which is hard for me because I love having animals with me. But if I didn't justify it in a way, I really don't want to go across these trails. I feel bad. Anyways, but without the justification of it, I think it'd be very difficult to live and not get utterly depressed completely and lose hope. So maintaining this level of purpose, sticking with the goal, and seeing where it ends up. Like I said, I don't really have much to lose other than my time making the videos and editing. And otherwise it's all upside because I'm still getting exercise. I'm staying motivated to get out here and at least get some cardio, snowshoeing around, exploring new areas, doing things a little bit outside my comfort zone, just getting out into the wilderness and taking time to do this stuff every day. I could just sit in my car and drive on Uber, but I know long term that's not going to get me anywhere. We all have our own unique challenges in life, and in order to change it, we're going to have to justify it and justify our own pain and suffering, at least for a short period of time. Doing the ridge line of the Tahoe Dawn Air Trail system and then dropping down from the highest peak down into the valley makes for a steep climb back up to the car. Even though there's no cliffs, just going through this forest is still a struggle. So many times you feel like giving up, but that's not even an option. Only pressing forward, even if they're the tiniest of steps. You can't say that I don't put effort into these videos. I put a lot of sweat and fatigue into them. I was just over there on that peak and along this ridge, this ridge, to get there. But that was a big drop and then big climb back up. I think I'm there. I think this is it right up there. Today was supposed to be an easy day. I think this is harder than yesterday. The snow just as deep and it falls away as you're trying to do these climbs. So it's like you step, slide, step, slide. You gotta embrace the struggle. Embrace the suck. Back at the top, down there, I took this valley up to this peak, down, and this ridge line right over there to about here. There's like a big rock formation where I just was. Drop down and then come back up to this point here. And then I'm just gonna stay up top and then I'll drop back down into this valley area to the parking lot. So I guess what was supposed to be an easy day actually turned out to be relatively challenging. That valley was rough starting out, but I guess I'm done. Heading back. Another day in the bank. Now I just gotta go out and do some more Uber rides. It never really ends for me. But at least I get to be, in the meantime, in a beautiful area. So you know what? I have my freedom and health. What else do we need? Well, like normal, I am finishing this snow hike as the sun's going down. But I'd just like to say thank you again for watching. If you're still here at the end, thank you for listening to this rant of the day about struggle and overcoming hardships. I think we all have the abilities and the tools at hand to overcome way more than we think we can. But that doesn't mean that it's not still a challenge. Physically, mentally, financially. But there's always something we can do to improve. I feel. And if you're going through the struggle, just find a justification and a reason for it. And I think that you can easily survive a lot more than you give yourself credit for. At least I think I'm finding that out for myself. Until next time.